Welcome to another exciting episode of Home Sweet Home. My name is Rod.
And I am Bryce Runge.
Are you sure about that?
I am positive.
I'm glad.
I looked in the mirror and I was like, that's Bryce Runge right there.
Yeah? Did you also whistle at yourself, say, what a handsome man?
I was like, dang, that is one. Okay.
Well, as we, with Christmas and New Year's ending, this is one of my least favorite times of the year. Now, I got my college basketball that, I get to watch and have fun with. Yep. But, I don't do well with short days. I like long days. I like, warm weather. Well, this time of year, I get little of either. And so I was thinking about different things, and I ran across this article that was talking about ways to boost your emotional well-being. Because, as we're heading into, January and February, there's not a lot to look forward to until maybe spring break.
Right.
I'm looking forward to, March Madness and all of that, but I got a long ways to go to get there.
Right.
And so I just think about, I just thought that was kind of an interesting article on, ideas or ways that I can engage so that way I don't fall into that typical winter letdown.
Right. Well, that's funny. I don't know, about a month or so ago, I put something out on my Wednesday wake-up call that was geared towards a lot of what you're just mentioning.
Oh, yeah?
In fact, I think I titled it like 7 ways to thrive, not just survive.
Okay.
I think I shared, I'm pretty sure I shared this, something very similar to when I spoke at Abiding Wealth's little conference, the financial institution, their conference. But I thought it was just a good timing for that, and it's still a good timing because I talk about your mental health and being patient and Well,
yeah, because everybody that knows me knows I am a poster child for patience.
Yes, absolutely. Once again, if you don't believe him, get in the vehicle. And I think it went over well. Just talked about embracing the process. There's trusting and embracing the process.
Okay,
because you could get especially when you're as we're going into the new year. A lot of people are going to set those New Year's resolutions and goals. And we know because statistics have said that mid-February, a lot of people abandon them.
Sure.
Right? Because you don't trust and embrace the process. And there's a lot of other things that are involved with it, but it takes time. But, we could just, I could get this.
Would you?
Dialed up
that does sound,
go through.
Because I do like that idea because I do run into, there are so many things that can get you down.
Oh, yeah.
Turn on the TV and you watch the news. You read the newspapers or online news stuff. There are so many negative things. Being at work around the kids sometimes, most of the time it's pretty good. They do a lot of funny things that kind of brighten your day.
Right.
But, overall at your work, there's a lot of things that can happen that can kind of suck you down. Mm-hmm. And, things just kind of multiply. So if I can have, ways to not fall victim to that, I'm all ears.
Right. Well, yeah, I think the first thing that, we need to recognize is that our mental health should be a top priority.
Meaning what?
Like we should be practicing self-care. We should be we should refuel the tank, if you will.
Okay.
Because we run on empty for so long. And then what happens when you run on empty?
You run out.
You burn out. And so that's what I encourage is make your mental health a top priority. Practice self-care.
Okay. What does that look like though?
It could be going outside and sitting in the sun. However, I know it's winter time.
Okay.
But yeah, there's a lot of self-care tips out there. There's some that are, you could do in under 5 minutes. You could read a couple chapters of a book called Wake Up, Wake Up, Wake Up. No, but really self-care, it's what you do to take care of yourself.
Okay, take time for yourself
Take
then.
time. We got, I was going to say as you know, what my role is with the ISD as a Hope Squad member, and I try and instill, hey, self-care practice. I do it with my kids. I have a hard time doing it myself. And then over the last couple of years, we've just been going, and then the stress, and then the passing of my mother-in-law, and it's you could get caught up in not taking care of yourself, and then you're the one struggling. I think we talked about that last episode where I got sick, and I was like,
when we talked about loss. I mean, I'm to quote you, I'm over here like a bobblehead nodding yes, going, okay. I find that I too will make a lot of suggestions. Hey, why don't you think about this? Or why don't you think about that? Well, maybe I should take my own advice and make sure that I do take time, quiet time, just for me, just to help maybe refocus, do something relaxing, something enjoyable.
Right.
I guess it doesn't even have to be a whole lot.
I just put out a thing not very long ago. It was like self-care tips, activities in under 5 minutes. Like write it in a gratitude journal, make your bed, go step outside and just, I don't know, yoga or stretch. I haven't stretched in over a decade, but those are, if you want to keep coming up, well, I don't have time. You don't have a couple minutes. We've started working out at this place called Hot Works, and I'm not promoting them. Am I? I guess I just did. You know what? They need to pay me.
Okay.
For promoting.
Sure, absolutely.
Anyways, and it's HIIT workouts. It's high intensity workouts, and I've gotten I'm hooked. Like I enjoy it. You're in a sauna. It's a hot box.
Okay.
And there's yoga. There's some cycling, and I do this. It's almost looks like an elliptical. You do it, but it's 15 minutes.
Okay.
And when I get out of there, I'm drenched. I've felt so much better. But again, it's 15 minutes. I looked at Suzanne and I'm like, if I don't have 15 minutes, man, something's up. Something's wrong.
If you are, I ride the Peloton, and I enjoy that. Mm-hmm. And once I get on it and I start doing it, I feel better once I've finished, because it's kind of like, wow, I've worked out some of those frustrations. So that does make sense. So when you're able to, because I've always wanted a punching bag. Yeah. I wanted those big, heavy bags. I thought would be totally freaking awesome. So when I'm feeling really frustrated, just go out there, put on the gloves, and just bang, 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 bang,
right.
bang. And you're beating up a that heavy bag rather than anything else.
Yeah, but what? When you're done, you feel 1,000 times better.
Oh, you do, and you feel tired.
Yeah.
And so that would definitely then be working on.
There's a lot of things, and we've referenced this before. Go to Google. There's thousands of self-care. And it varies on times, but here's the reality: self-care guards against burnout.
Okay.
It truly does. And so I notice that when I'm in stress, or I'm like, I'm so over this right now, I'll practice something, and it could be 5, or I'll go work out. I'm like, man, I could conquer the world right now. I'm going to come. I have a different attitude.
Okay.
I'm not bitter. I'm not angry. I'm not mad. And I'm not just a ball of emotions. I've released all that.
Okay.
So I think that's a priority. I mean, you talk about a person's mindset.
Yeah.
And that alone is success or failure.
True. Okay. No, it does make sense. I like that. So, all right. When okay, I'll be riding that Peloton more than once every couple of weeks.
Get on that. What? Every day, Rod. Come on, get on there. You don't have 5 minutes?
Well, usually it takes a good half hour, but okay.
Oh, all
right. So what other words of wisdom do you got for us?
Some more wisdom I would like to download is being patient and persistent.
Okay.
I know you struggle with patience.
I do, because, and I don't, It is. It is an issue. It's something that I've had ever since I was old enough to remember.
Right.
And as I've gotten to being an adult, it has gotten harder for me.
Mm-hmm.
I do better in many other areas, but you're right. We joke about it, but there's a lot of truth that when I'm driving. But I will say that when I give myself more time. So, for example, if I go like, okay, different times where I'm going, I'm not in a hurry to get to my destination where, I've budgeted myself 35, 40 minutes to get where I need to go. And it really only take 25 to 30 minutes.
Right.
Well, I've got that extra time. So if I hit a lot of red lights, if I hit people who don't want to go, they want to play on their phone instead of drive through the intersection.
Right.
It's not so bad. And my audiobooks help me.
That's good.
Because, well, hey, I get to listen to a little more of my story.
There you go.
But I still have a long way to go.
Yeah, I think we all do. Because it's easy when you're met with inconvenience, your patience kind of goes out the window. So
true, very true. For me, I would echo.
Yeah.
So try and give myself more patience. Breathe deep, maybe.
Yeah, practice breathing. That's another. That's you're practicing self-care.
Okay.
Breathing, right?
Not flying off the handle.
Right. No, and why I mentioned being patient and persistent ties into, going into this new year.
Mm-hmm.
Again, there's a ton of people who are setting New Year's resolutions. They're going to establish all these lofty goals.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're not patient. They're not persistent.
It does.
They want overnight success, but it takes a long time. Like the Chinese bamboo tree. Have you ever heard about this?
No.
How the Chinese bamboo tree grows?
No.
Okay, so the story is, and it's the fact here. It's fact checked it.
Okay.
Just like any other tree or plant to flourish, it requires water, right? Fresh, soil and fertile soil, sunshine. But this Chinese bamboo tree in its first year, you don't see any visible signs of growth whatsoever.
Really?
So you're like, what in the world is going on, right? Is this thing even growing? In its second year, no growth, nothing. You don't see anything above the soil. In that third and fourth year, nothing. So what year would you have quit?
Probably a couple months in.
Okay. So the middle of February.
Okay.
So yeah, it's
okay.
So yeah. Hence, a lot of people peace out because they don't see anything right away. But in its fifth year, this Chinese bamboo tree, in its fifth year, it wakes up. And then it bursts out of the soil, and it grows to at least 80 feet in that fifth year.
So I got to wait 5 years for my weight loss program?
You got to wait 5 years. So the question is, did it lie dormant for years only to grow exponentially in its fifth? Or was the little tree growing underground? Was it developing a root system and this stable base strong enough to support its potential for outward growth in that fifth year and beyond? Okay.
So be patient with yourself. Allow yourself the opportunity to consider the long term. What is your long term goal? And don't be frustrated by lack of immediate success. Is that what I hear you say?
Yeah. Anything that whatever dream it is, whatever goal you have set forth, what you need to do is pack your patience.
Okay.
And be persistent.
Okay.
Again, it's not going to happen overnight. When I was playing football, it took me years to be in top shape.
Okay.
And I had to be persistent.
Okay.
And so it wasn't just this overnight success. I didn't just look in the mirror and I blew up and I was
looked like Dwayne Johnson.
Right. So it took years. So you have to be patient. You have to be persistent.
It did take a lot of years of eating to get as big as I am.
Well,
So I was persistent and patient on
You were
that.
persistent there, buddy. Now, I think, I asked you that question, and I think that's the reality. The reality is we don't see results. We don't see that outward growth. So we flip the switch, the quit switch.
I will say that when I do my exercising and regularly, when I notice the results, with clothes fitting looser, I'm more encouraged to keep it up.
Yeah.
But I'll always hit a plateau. I'll have success and then I'll flatten out.
Right.
And it's usually in that flattening out part where I don't see, that success where, the clothes or the scale aren't showing progress, as you're saying. That usually, okay, well, you're not going to do it. You're not going to do it. Well, I'll skip today. Well, today leads to the rest of the week, to, the rest of the month. And then you're feeling guilty. So, no, I get you.
Well, and that kind of goes into the next thing I talked about was trusting and embracing the process.
Okay.
It's a process. Trusting that process, it truly involves genuinely understanding that the outcome will be worth all the struggles that you face in order to get there.
Okay, because again, our goal is to help us be able to handle the disappointments, the stress,
Yeah, along the way, there's going to be bumps, there's going to be roadblocks, there's going to be ups and downs on that journey.
Okay,
without a doubt. But being patient kind of ties in together.
Okay.
Being patient, being persistent, but trust and embrace the process. It's a process.
Okay, because I guess if our overarching goal is to improve our mindset, then you're saying it takes time.
Yep.
Be patient and trust that what you're doing will be productive in the long run.
Right. Yeah. Like I said, you're going to encounter difficulties, no matter what it is. You fill in the blank.
Okay.
You're going to encounter difficulties, but how you determine to view those difficulties tells you, what's on the other side.
Sure.
Going back to your mindset, like if you operate in the fixed mindset, forget about it. If you operate with the growth mindset, then you're going to understand that difficulty's there to strengthen you. Whatever it is, it's going to help you.
Okay.
If you could learn to operate out of a growth mindset, how could I learn from this situation? Instead of thinking disaster, think how could I develop a mindset that's going to help me deploy greatness through this difficulty?
So when I fail, my failure is a learning opportunity.
Absolutely.
Well, I fail a lot.
I do too.
From little things like lesson plans that don't go correct to a lot bigger things. No, I get that because, we've talked before about the mistakes that we've made.
Right.
And Lord knows I've made quite a few. But you're right. I mean, I'll totally agree with you because I've always felt that, especially with the benefit of hindsight, looking back, you're going, okay, those were failures, those hurt. But at the same time, they provided an opportunity that if I took the opportunity to recognize what I learned from that,
right,
and to grow from that, and use it as a learning opportunity instead of it was an epic fail, so therefore I'm a failure.
Right. Well, yeah, absolutely. In going back to the process, it shouldn't be hurried. You should take your time. You should learn from those mistakes, or what is this difficulty, this challenge trying to, how could I learn from it? Right?
Okay.
And so that's the thing. The process shouldn't be hurried. I think we get in this I don't know, I got to hurry up and get there.
Sure.
Right? But I miss out on so many things along the way.
Okay. Because
I see this roadblock, I'm going to veer off, or I'm going to avoid this situation, and I'm going to go off and right, instead of how could I learn from that?
Sure. And I have come to the understanding that the easier something kind of falls into place, the more I'm meant to do it.
Sure.
But the more roadblocks to achieving what I think I want, the more I'm coming to understand that, maybe I'm not supposed to actually pursue this because the end results will be negative. It's kind of like divine intervention talking, and I am kind of listening. So failure part ties then into the process.
Right.
Part of the process is failing.
Yeah. Well, and that's I'm glad you mentioned that, because that's the next thing I roll into.
Okay.
Is that failure is not fatal. And Thomas Edison, I think you've said this once before, that Thomas Edison said, "I have not failed. I have found 10,000 ways that don't work
to make a light bulb work." No, you're right.
Yeah. And I share that. Going back to the whole growth mindset. Carol Dweck, psychologist, she wrote a book on it.
Okay.
I'm not going to go into that too deep, but she calls it the fixed mindset. It's that belief that failure is a dead end instead of a stop on the road to improvement. So instead of operating out of a fixed mindset, develop ruthless optimism and a growth mindset. It's that ability to see failure as opportunities in disguise and empower you to grow and learn. So failure is an option.
Okay. And let me ask you this. I'm going to throw this out there.
Okay.
Can failure give you an opportunity for reappraisal? For you to reevaluate? Does that tie right into
Sure.
Things that I've experienced that, like I was saying moments ago, about the more obstacles there are, the more maybe I shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
But yet the more things kind of click into place to make something happen.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm just wondering, again, what role would reappraisal have in failure?
Yeah.
Because would that give you, like you're saying, it's a pause, it's a stop.
Right.
Could that give you an opportunity to go, well, if this isn't going the way I want it to, then instead of being frustrated and angry, could we maybe take the opportunity to reevaluate, reassess?
Right.
I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud here on this.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I would think that Thomas Edison reevaluated and reassessed 10,000 different ways, right?
Okay, fair enough. I think you're right. So if we can give ourselves that understanding that we're going to hit road bumps, speed bumps, and accept that they are a part. Okay, I can go with that. That kind of, it takes me
all tying in, part of the process.
Yeah. And it's kind of nice to think about this, because sometimes when you're knee deep in the blood and guts of a problem or a situation or an issue, it's not maybe always easy to look at this and understand that. Give yourself time, be patient, reevaluate, understand that failure is part of the process that we learn.
Yeah.
So
and I think we see so many that are flipping the quit switch because they just, I don't know, they have a block against.
Well, I've done that.
Yeah.
I've quit. I've stopped. Exercising is something that I enjoy doing, but it's a lot of work.
Right.
And I'll do it for a little while and then I'll stop. And then I'll start it up again and I'll feel real good and then I'll stop.
Right.
So, but the things that I really like, I wanted my college degree. There were a lot of speed bumps that gave me pause, but at the end, it took a while, but I finally got my degree.
Right.
I didn't go right into teaching because there were, again, a lot of roadblocks, but I ultimately got there, stayed persistent. Okay. No, it is.
That reminds me of the test. the test I took a couple times. Remember, I was persistent. You remember that test?
Yes.
And here's the reality.
Okay.
I am not a very good test taker.
Okay. Yeah, I struggle with that too.
I struggle. Like I could do a lot of things, but it comes down to like actually taking a test. I've always struggled in that area.
Yeah.
I've also never applied, I don't know, skills, test taking skills, if you will,
Okay.
to full potential to learn. And that's just been a kind of a downfall.
Well, you need to give yourself a little grace.
I do, and that's funny. You say that because I also talk about giving yourself grace.
No way.
Yeah, as my 6th point, to give yourself grace. Sometimes I'm pretty hard on this. Like it's hard. I have to go back and I read this. So.
Sometimes though I struggle with grace because where's the line between cutting yourself a little bit of slack and overindulging?
Yeah.
Because we're told all the time with our students, well, give them grace. You don't know what they're going through. Fair enough. And I'm more than happy to cut slack. And I'll cut slack on myself. But a lot of times if I give myself too much slack, I'm going, well, now you're taking advantage of yourself.
Right.
You're taking advantage, and suck it up, buttercup, and get with the program and do what you need to do.
Right.
Instead of making lame duck excuses.
Right. I think grace, it's about acceptance. It's about forgiveness, love, and as complex as that seems, it really does heal us like anything else.
Okay.
But it's hard to Rod, or sorry, I'm not Rod. I'm Bryce.
You sure?
I am positive. If I've messed up or I've dropped the ball. Hey, it's okay. You forgive yourself, right? You're right. It's sometimes hard. Accept that. Accept that situation and try and move on. But again, there's no magic recipe. But those who truly welcome the possibility of it happening, and those who practice self-compassion, will begin to experience transformation and peace. And I think when you enter into that peace stage, you could move on. Okay, I'm at peace with this situation because I've given myself grace. I know that I'm not perfect.
Okay.
I know that I'm going to drop the ball. I'm going to mess up because I'm a human.
Okay.
And I'm going to do that all the time, but it wasn't malicious.
Okay.
Whatever the act was or whatever the word was, at least most of the time it's not. No, it's not intended to hurt or harm, but like you and I are, we're trying to make a positive impact.
True. Very much so. That's why we do our job.
Right.
I rarely run into teachers or people that in any profession that work with young people that aren't looking to make a positive impact.
Right.
So,
yeah.
Well,
but I think it's just that understanding that, like, we're not perfect. Like,
we aren't.
No, you're not. I'm sorry. I hate to break it to you. Something that I had mentioned in my talk. It was about that conference was about college readiness, and for parents and their kids, and getting their kids ready for college and sending them out into to college. And it was, I think, a lot. And we've had this conversation again. You're gonna know exactly what I'm talking about. But pushing your kids to encourage your kids to pursue perfection. No.
Yeah.
Wrong.
We've talked about
encourage your kids to pursue excellence. That's a very big difference between excellence and perfection.
Sure.
Because you're not going to be perfect.
Oh,
you're going to drop the ball.
Yes.
But pursue excellence. That's a
be the best that you can
that
be.
Is great.
When you feel, because a lot of times, I'll ask kids, is this truly your best effort? Can you honestly say that you have given 100% of your best effort on this assignment, on this project?
Yeah.
And, a lot of them, no, McCall, this isn't.
Yeah.
I really didn't. When that happens, it's kind of like, okay, fair enough. If you can make that admittance, or admission, then okay, now we've gotten over that big hurdle.
Right.
And we can now have a serious and honest conversation.
Yeah. And that's just something I try and cultivate, within, our family dynamic. And then with my kids, my second family, my kids, right, my students, hey, we're gonna drop the ball. Mm-hmm. When we're playing or we're presenting and we're doing certain things, I'll even make a comment like, look, I know this isn't the reality. I want it to be perfect, but it's not going to be the case. But what we need to do is pursue excellence. Mm-hmm. Whatever we're doing, whether we're presenting or with the upcoming assembly or whatever, let's do everything with excellence in mind. Mm-hmm. Okay? But again, know that we're going to have to give ourselves grace because we're going to drop the ball. We're going to mess up. But if you're pursuing things with excellence,
okay. No, that makes sense.
It's a huge difference versus I'm going to pursue it 50%. I'm going to get effort, right? My effort's only at a 50% right now. And that's the one thing hey, every time you cross over the threshold, the one thing I want is your effort.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because you can see in the different assignments that I give, mm-hmm. But even me, there are times where I'll get frustrated. I go, oh, but then you're right. You asked that big question. How much of your best effort did we get?
Right.
And I usually will come up with the answer I don't want to give, and that is, well, you did not get a lot of my best effort.
Yeah.
And so I guess...
Well, I appreciate the honesty. That's good.
Oh, yeah.
I recognize that, admit that. Like, no, I didn't.
Well, now I will say that I try really hard with our podcast to give my best effort. When I am teaching, when I'm in front of those kids, and I think sometimes that's where my frustration comes in, is that I'm trying to give my very best effort and it's not reciprocated.
Right.
And so I do get aggravated. But maybe I need to trust the process, be a little more patient, and that might help reduce my stress, my anxiety.
Yeah, because what's our number one priority?
You?
No. Number 2 priority. The number one priority. Were you not listening? Wow. We're going to do an episode on listening, why it's so important now. Make your mental health. When you decrease your stress and your anxiety, your mental health is in a better condition or position or whatever you want to call it.
No, you're absolutely right. I was just messing around there a little bit.
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm talking over you.
Wow. Rude.
Yeah.
Gosh, be patient with me, Rod.
All right. You know what? I'm going to start practicing patience.
Practice patience. Pack your patience. The other thing I talked about is practicing gratitude.
Okay.
I've done a research. I've written quite a bit on gratitude, but studies do show that people who exercise gratitude experience more happiness, more positivity, content, compassion, and generosity toward others. Thank you for bringing me a Diet Coke because I feel like you were practicing gratitude. Oh. You were being generous.
Here, I just thought I was engaging in bribery. Now, that being said, I will say that as an adult, my favorite thing at Christmas is to give you a gift and watch you open that.
Yeah.
I don't really care about getting a gift.
Right.
I have way more fun, because the whole family, always gets together at Christmas and, extended family, everybody gets together and they do the gift giving, the exchange, and I absolutely have way more fun.
Yeah. Sitting back,
I just sit back, in the back part, and watch the kids open up, especially the stuff that Sherry and I got them, and it is so much fun. And you got me some? Okay, I'll open it.
Yeah.
But it's not, oh, thank you. No, more I want to watch you.
Isn't it better to give than receive?
If you'd asked me that when I was 10 years old, I'd said you're nuttier than a Christmas fruitcake. But now, yes, absolutely. I really better understand my parents.
Yeah.
Having now that I am a parent and watching, you know, again, I hated our Christmas traditions because even growing up, which is, what we practice with Sherry's family when we're all together, is one at a time, youngest to oldest.
Oh, yeah.
Can I just tell you with 18 people how long that takes?
Oh, man.
But I get it because we did that growing up.
Yeah.
And Christmas morning would start actually till late morning, and it would take 2-3 hours.
Wow.
And I'm going, why can't we be like everybody else and just rip our stuff up?
Yeah.
And, go play and be done in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But again, this practicing gratitude, giving, I get it now.
Yeah.
And I appreciate it.
Yeah, same here.
Because I love to give. I love to give stuff. I try and give without the idea of receiving.
Yeah.
I see that a lot, and I guess that's why we do what we do.
Right.
We're giving. I mean, the gratitude that I get from the kids usually comes in a way that they don't maybe even realize that they're giving gratitude.
Yeah.
I guess it's kind of, I love the expressions on their faces. When I was going through teaching college, they called it the aha moment.
Oh.
When you could kind of see that light bulb click on over their
Right.
head, and you know that now they get what you're trying to explain, and how, to me, that is a super addictive response.
Yeah.
So that's why I say they a lot of times will give gratitude to what I'm doing without them realizing that they're doing that.
Sure.
So it's fun to watch them again open up the learning,
Yeah.
and I see their
Right.
and I'm going cha-ching,
Right.
made an impact.
Well, yep. You want to hear a kicker about gratitude?
Sure, I like kickers.
Yeah. Those who practice gratitude are less likely to encounter health issues.
Really?
Do you believe it?
Well,
If stress can cause us physical, issues, health issues,
okay.
why couldn't gratitude reverse that? Why couldn't it encourage, more health?
Well, maybe that's why people feel a little happier at Christmas time, because they are giving.
Right.
And giving of time, giving of treasure, giving of talent.
Mm-hmm.
And it does make people happier when you're giving. I mean, I know the holidays tend to be very stressful because of all the self-imposed, got-to-do lists.
Right.
And, of course, then you get the month of January through May to pay for all of that. But
Yeah.
it is, no, that kind of fits.
Yeah.
And then, that does make sense.
So here's what I've discovered, that viewing life through a lens of gratitude, it truly has empowered me to discover a more positive attitude. We've been talking about an attitude, right? So
Yeah.
I'm not a neuroscience, whatever you want to say. I don't even know how to say it.
Neuroscientist?
Yeah, those guys.
Uh-huh.
So, there's a direct link. There has to be,
Yes.
with your attitude and your mindset.
Yes.
Gratitude, and how that encourages health, increases your health.
Well,
Self-care tips, right? That
You know,
increases your mental health,
God, I'm talking over you again. I'm
it's
sorry,
all right.
I'm not being patient.
Gosh.
But as you said that, I was thinking, why do we as adults teach young people to say thank you?
Because that's a respectful thing to do.
But
It's also
by showing gratitude, you're right. Maybe the gratitude part of the respect is an unintended consequence.
right. Well, you literally, okay. So if you're not grateful,
Okay.
if you're not thankful, if I'm not full of praise, like I'm
Uh-huh.
thanking you,
Uh-huh.
what are you going to be full of? I have the potential to be full of pride
Yeah.
if I'm not full of praise,
Uh-huh.
right? And
No, that
pride, what
makes
does
sense.
pride do?
Well, pride in small doses can be a positive thing. Pride and too much pride can be then detrimental.
Right.
But if you have pride mixed with gratitude, then maybe you do have that healthier outlook that allows you to deal with then the stress, the anxiety, the frustrations that come at us from so many different directions.
Right.
Dang.
Well,
we went deep on that one.
Did. And I think that kind of goes back to what I said in the beginning. One of the things, being positive and compassionate, but content.
Be happy with what you have, not with what you don't.
Right. If I live with this only mentality, I only have 5 TVs, or I only have a 65. I only have. Guess what? I'm creating this. I'm never going to have enough. Mentality.
Sure. No, that was my ex-wife.
Yeah.
It was whatever we had was not quite enough. We needed just a little bit more to be happy.
Right.
And you achieve that. Well, we kept extending that bar of happiness to the point that you never achieved it. So that I will say that was one of the more positive impacts of the divorce.
Yeah.
Was getting rid of that and being able to appreciate what I did have, which was not much. But I look now and I am much happier as a consequence of not chasing what I don't have.
Right.
So
yeah.
And that's really, I like that,
Oh, good. I'm glad you like that.
Man, you're a smart individual.
I'm smart.
I am proud to be hitching my wagon to your train.
Yeah. Well, what? The wagon?
It's a metaphor. It's partnering with you on this.
Oh.
Metaphor.
Is that something they say in like the 40s? Shut up. Now, here's really gratitude. It changes the way you think and speak, and it helps you see the best regardless of life circumstances. So develop an attitude of gratitude. The last thing I talked about was enjoying the journey, kind of going back to the process. We just want to get from point A to point B in such a big hurry.
True.
We miss out on so many things. I heard the other day, the pastor at church, he mentioned something as I'm sitting there crying, and Braddock's is with me, because he had said so many profound things. We wish for things to, like I could sit downstairs and be like, man, I wish Bristol would just grow up and be like 2, so I don't have to do certain things, or you could like kind of do. But he's like making a point, like, don't wish those things away, because one day you're going to look back and you're like, damn, I wish I had a Lego to step on. I wish I had, fill in the blank with your kid, because, Braddock's sitting next to me in church and he's 12. Mm-hmm. And I'm dang, where did the time go? Because we wish to get things get here or get there, and we don't slow down enough to enjoy stepping on a Lego. I get so pissed. Oh, damn Lego, No, I wish I had a Lego to step on.
I mean, there were times, with Eric, same thing. And I do have a lot of, regrets. I can't wait for him to get, so we can, old this age, so we can do this, get to this age, so we can do that. And now I look back and I go, did I wish too much? And I kind of miss, all that. Because you're right. I don't have Legos to step on.
Yeah.
And I don't have, so you're right. You can wish the best parts of what you have away without realizing that you've actually done that.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's really interesting. Again, the journey is hard to appreciate all the time, especially when you're in it.
Right.
I tell all my seniors every August, enjoy this year.
Right.
There's a lot of stress and pressure, but most everything you're doing is for some of the last times ever.
Right.
Your last volleyball games, your last football games. This is your last push on whatever it is you're doing. So while you're going, oh, I'm so excited. Yeah, be excited.
Right.
But also enjoy the ride.
Yeah.
So that kind of ties in with enjoy the journey.
Enjoy the journey.
Because we're on a journey.
Yeah,
You know,
that's exactly what it is.
life. Why does wisdom come with age?
I don't know. Because
Something
we've
to
learned the experiences, I guess.
I don't know. Maybe because we're learning how to enjoy the journey.
By learning how to enjoy the journey. So I'll leave people. I'll leave our listeners. I'll leave you, and I'll leave myself with this because this is truly. I've been trying to work on this.
Okay.
Slowing down. Going back into. You know what the enemy of greatness is?
No idea.
Hurry.
Haste makes waste.
Yeah.
Well, fair enough. I mean, I tell that. My dad said that all the time.
Yeah.
Haste makes waste.
So, quick story. I know we're running out of time.
Okay.
Yeah, enjoy the journey. Take care of the little things. Avoid getting caught up in what's meaningless. Strive to be mindful. Listen deeply. Breathe, Rod. Breathe. Okay. Pursue excellence.
Okay.
Don't pursue perfection. Not going to happen. Nobody's perfect. Only one person walked this earth that is perfect. It's not me or you.
No.
But pursue excellence, okay? Give your best in everything, in every way, and don't be afraid to leave mistakes and failures in the past where they belong. So Brad and I, my brother Brad and I, we grew up in Anaheim, California, and we had these two, I don't know what they're called. They're tall, thin trees, if you will.
Okay.
Look like pencil trees. They're real tall, and they were
Okay.
in front of our house, and there were four of them. Well, the middle two were like perfect field goals.
Oh, okay.
So we would kick across the street, you know, and the front door's there, and then two windows up top for our bedrooms, and those you don't think about those things, right, when you're a kid. Well, we were preparing for our annual mud bowl at the high school we played at because we had, grass field, and it would, whenever it rained, we set up football games with other friends and whatnot. And one year we were out kicking, just killing the time. And I kicked the ball, and it went wide right, and it went right through the window.
Was the window open?
Oh no, it was. We broke the glass. I broke the glass. I'm like, damn. And so my mom was pissed, obviously, and she's like, "You're not going anywhere until you fix that." So now we're running out of time, right? Because we got to get to the field. Everyone's going to be waiting on us. So we have to go to. We drive over to Ace. We think we measured it correctly. Come back. I pull the glass out, and I get out of. He had a Jeep Comanche at the time. And I open the door, and I get out with the piece of glass, and I close the door on the glass, and it broke. And he's like ripping me up a new one. He's, "Get your ass back in the truck. Let's go." So we drive back there. We come back, and he's like, "Don't break it this time." Bleep, beep, beep. So we go up there, and we put it in the window, and then it falls out. And then it breaks. Well, because it wasn't the right size. So we go back again. So we're in such a hurry. And everyone's waiting on us now. And now we're both in bad moods. Mom's pissed. He's pissed. I'm pissed. And it's like we were in such a hurry because we wanted to get there, but we didn't take the time. Haste makes waste.
No, I can't tell you how many times I have done something just as silly. So.
Yeah. But anyways, that's my 7 tips for thriving this year. Apply them if you will. But most importantly is our mental health. Make your mental health a top priority this year.
Because when we're right in our head, everything else seems to go so much better.
Yep.
Well, thank you. I've enjoyed this. So, until next time, I'm Rod.
And I'm Bryce. You going to say goodbye?
Goodbye?
Yeah. Merry Christmas, everyone. Well, this will be after Christmas.
Yeah. So, happy 2022.
Happy 2022.
Holy crap, it's
2022.
Dang, you're getting old, man.
Man. All right. On that note, love, peace, and chicken grease. What?
I ain't got nothing to say on that.
All right. Bye.